Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I just finished running my trencher for the first time and getting ready to go down and show you that process and kind of what I learned from the first time running this. But first I wanted to just throw in a few things I should have mentioned beforehand. This is a John Deere 325G skid loader. This is a Baumalight TN548 trencher. It has a chain on it made to cut 6-inch wide trenches, and it can cut up to 4 foot deep. The primary maintenance you want to do every time with this is grease the nose, and then there's a second grease zerk right here that pumps grease into this tube, and it's just like how you tighten your tracks. You pump grease in there and that pushes out, and you want to tighten this chain until it's only got, on this model, 1.5 to 2 inches of slack underneath, which only took a few pumps. So we're going to go down there, dig a few trenches, experiment with chain tightness and a few other things, and should be a lot of fun. This trencher is rated to run between 12 gallons per minute hydraulic flow and 27 gallons per minute of hydraulic flow. On low flow, my skid loader has 21 gallons per minute, so right in the middle of the acceptable range. Right now you see me running it on low flow at full RPM in some muddy soil. And it's cutting a trench just fine. It's not binding up or overloading the hydraulic motor, but it feels like this muddy soil isn't going to give you as clean of a trench as drier soil. For the second test, I'm still running at low flow at high throttle, but I backed up 50 feet to an area that's a little bit drier than where I was to begin with. And the drier soil seems to be doing a better job of pulling the spoils up out of the bottom of the hole and getting them pushed off to the side. But honestly, I feel like the chain should be spinning a little bit faster. And I don't have a lot of experience to back that up, it's just the feeling I get from the first use. If it seems like it's spinning faster, that is because it is. And before starting recording this or putting this in the dirt for the first time, I had several conversations about running this trencher on high flow. I started by talking to the salesman that I got the trencher from, and he told me that his recommendation with my machine was to run the trencher at high flow with 3/4 throttle. That's because my machine puts off 32 gallons per minute in high flow. The trencher is rated for 28. I'm getting better results running at 28 gallons per minute than I did at 21 gallons per minute. And that's really common sense, actually. I will caution you that I posed the high flow, low flow question to a very large group of skid steer owners on Facebook, and a lot of the answers I got there suggested that you should not run
a low flow attachment on high flow, you should always run at full RPM. I can make my own decision based on what's working for me, and you can make your own decision based on what you know and understand. But this is leaving me with a cleaner trench and digging a little bit faster on the high flow. And that's how I'm going to run it. I also experimented with the best speed to back up at. And what I ended up doing was putting it in creep mode and running at 20% speed. And it never bogged down once I started running at 20%. The only time it ever hesitated at that speed was whenever I hit a rock, and it took a second for it to make its way through that rock. I've got several projects that I really need to get done that involve trenching. And my initial plan was just wait and run this whenever I needed to. But it was driving me crazy just wanting to stick it in the dirt and see how it did. So I just made a mess here and then cleaned it back up with the box blade. I gave a bid this afternoon to dig a trench for someone, and it seems like an ideal digging location without any obstacles, and it seems like good soil, and I bid it at $1 per foot. So we'll see how that goes.
For the first time using that, I felt like that was a pretty successful run. I learned a little bit about how to run it and made a mess and cleaned it up. So I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. We'll have more trenching videos coming up and as I get better with it. But I'm going to put links on the screen right here to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.